everybody and welcome back. So with Vikings Valhalla already launched on Netflix, we are going to go ahead and talk about the sequence in episode 4 season 2 in which the ice river comes down onto the bridge where Leif and the future king of Norway are going to be, and oh my goodness, how that is beautifully done, all that work that goes into it. Let's get started. So it seems like Vikings Valhalla has a new trait that seems to be happening where in each season, episode 4 seems to be the dynamic visual effects shot that is done for the season. In this case, it was the ice river simulation that was the hardest to do for this series. Now they actually went ahead and did this in the summertime, so they actually found a location where they can go ahead and dress it up as if they were in the winter time, surrounded by ice. Now the way that they got this beautiful, solid, smooth, semi-smooth, this beautiful flat ice for the boat to go on was actually by using concrete. Now the concrete was settled in first to give that flat look in which it divvies into a river. And I love that look. I love how it's kind of going into itself. It really, even though it's surrounded by ice, even though it's snow and white, you know it's a river. And it was actually moved onto set. Whenever you see close-ups on the ship and not the wide shots, it is actually being moved by a truck. When it is close up is when they had to use 8 horses. So they started off with about 2 or 4, then they added 6, and then in total they ended up having to use 8 horses to pull this ginormous trailer with this boat on it, including the actors. For the actual collapsing in on the river, it was not actually done in post-production. What they actually did was they had a ramp in where the boat would sit on, and they filled it up with a little bit of water in order to give that feel that it's sunken in to the ice. And then what they had is they had to maneuver and rig it in order for it to believably look like it was getting out of the ramp and out of the ice hole, which I think was really great engineering, even with the large pillars that they had the actors using. All of this, when you get the close-ups, of course, crew was helping pull this huge trailer and boat out of the ramp that they had created in order to give that look of they're really stuck there, they're really kind of in trouble. As for the parts in which people actually fall into the ice, what they ended up doing was they ended up carving out a hole where they put a tank in, filled it with water, and then they had actors kind of fall into it, and then depending on the scene, get the actor out accordingly too. The safety of this is, of course, they did not use water so they carved in to the concrete tanks of water where the actors would actually fall into it to give that look that the ice was breaking and people were falling into it. Now the intensity of the actual ice cracking was done in post-production, which is beautifully added on to the tanks that they used on set to have the actors actually emerged into water. So before we continue on, don't forget to like this video if you find it entertaining. If you are looking for more VFX breakdowns or scene breakdowns, go ahead and subscribe, like this and more. And again, any feedback or comments, go ahead and put those down below. We also have a community tab on the channel that we like to promote in order to get feedback from our community. Now with that said, oh my gosh, I know there was water simulation in the first season. I mean, there was a storm that they did using Houdini and RenderMan in episode 1, season 1, which was beautiful and breathtaking. If you want more information on that, comment down below, let me know so I can do a video on that. But in all, it was beautifully done. That was extraordinary water effects. Then they had the bridge collapsing with water simulations in episode 4, season 1, but this one takes the cake because the water simulation had to be done in Houdini with ice chunks. So what they went ahead and did is they modeled basically what they would consider the ice chunks, and then they used the water simulation to be pushed. Now they did have to model the entire ice river as it was done in the set, so they basically copied the set, you know, in order to get the flow of the river correct and just for it to be easier to overlay in post-production. But not only did they build the set of the ice river, they went ahead and built a boat. Now the reason that you would build a boat in 3D when they clearly already have a boat on set, which is massive and huge, is because they need to know how the boat would move with the water simulation and the ice chunks that are done in Houdini with the algorithm that the computer generates along with the artist's control. And that way that they can go ahead and similarly copy that or try to match it as much as they possibly can on set. Or episode 4, season 1, the London Bridge collapse. Go ahead and click here. And you guys are awesome. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See you guys next time. Bye.